Okay, please don't shoot the messenger. I will try to get you the news as quickly as I can, but it's going to change, and it's going to change quickly. In fact, just at the point where I was writing down my notes and getting ready to make this video, something has already changed. When I say something changed, it's the transfer rumours change. It's going to happen. Everybody's reporting on stories and everybody's making up stories, basically. So you just don't know what's true. So I'll be back later on to try and clarify some of this stuff, but none of this is gospel. It really isn't. I'm just regurgitating a lot of the stuff that is out there right now and giving my opinion on it. We'll start with Maxwel Cornet. Weird one, this. Now, and this is why you got to try and read between the lines. Yesterday, we joked. We saw him in the lift. He was indicating that he was off somewhere. We joked that he was probably only going shopping. The rumour was it was Southampton. Maxwel Cornet to Southampton. Okay, brilliant. But the interesting thing about that was he trained with West Ham yesterday. Just sometimes some of the stuff, some of the rumours that you get are just instantly sort of dismissed by some of the facts, which is he was training, he wasn't travelling down to the South Coast having a medical, he wasn't doing any of that stuff. So I think what we can say is there's interest from Southampton, right? But it's not just interest in Southampton from Cornet. However, what is interesting is Crystal Palace have come in with some late interest. So apparently talks undergoing between Crystal Palace and West Ham. West Ham deny any of this stuff. Sorry, that's not my dog. I'm dog sitting at the moment. He's Jeff. I don't know if you can see him. He's a Sharpie, aren't you? He's a Sharpie. Jeff is. I'm looking after Jeff. He's a good boy. He's saying never mind this transfer window. Out we go. Nice boy, good boy. I'm dog sitting two dogs, so yeah, just in case you thought, hey, Gonzo's got his new dog. I haven't. You're not my new dog, are you, Jeff? No, you are different. You're different. He doesn't. He's not convinced. To be fair, Jeff is not convinced that Maxwel Cornet is going anywhere, basically. Anyway, so that's that. The club are denying it, but not because I think they want to deny transfer rumours at all. They would absolutely love to get some deals over the line. So even last night, we saw this desperate thing from Sky Sports. It was almost like an eBay sale, almost like they were announcing that Ings and Cornet and Agurd were available. And that's very much come from the club. And the club are desperate, not because it's not like the sort of January desperation when you're in the relegation zone, you really need to sign a player. This is a desperation to offload players so we can bring a couple in, right? Simple as that, really. Triple threat from Southampton. Obviously, James Ward-Prowse. That's not going to go away until the end of the day. It just isn't. Didn't perform well, let's be fair. But I'm not blaming Ward-Prowse for that game against Bournemouth. I'm whisper it earlier. I'm blaming the manager. I am. I'm blaming the manager for that. Myself and Gio have discussed this at length. Lopetegui spent a long time suggesting, indicating he had spent all of last season watching West Ham. So it was just a little bit odd that he spent the whole season watching West Ham and he went and paired Soucek and Ward-Prowse together. It don't work. We know that because we do watch West Ham all the time, and it was weird he shouldn't know that. So I don't blame James Ward-Prowse for the bad midfield showing against Bournemouth. That, as I say, that one's on Lopetegui. But he's still a really good player, still going to be a massive threat for any team because of his set plays. So maybe something could happen. Obviously, this remains interesting. Danny Ings, but Danny Ings trained yesterday as well. You know, as did Nath Agurd. But Nath Agurd's going to be no surprise because we know he wants to stick his heels in. He doesn't want to go anywhere. But we discussed it all yesterday. You know, he wants to join. I don't know. I think it feels like he wants to join the 1970s Brazil team or Frank Rijkaard's Barcelona. I don't know what's going on with him, really. It's very, very hard to know on that one. Tammy Abraham. Here's an interesting one. We're linked to him again today. We are going to continue to be linked with him all day. Because what I am certain about, and this is what I'm saying, I can only give you the reports and then give my opinion. This is totally agent-led. Really is. I think he's desperate. I think Roma are desperate to offload him. But at every single opportunity, West Ham have said, no, there's no truth in this stuff at all. We're just not interested in him. And I believe them. They've been really specific as well. They said he's had ACL injuries and his form has been crap. And in fact, the last time that I remember the club going into such detail saying why they didn't want anyone was actually old Harry Potter. When we were linked with him from after Chelsea had ditched him, and the club gave a really detailed response. The reason they didn't want Graham Potter was because they felt it only thrived at Brighton because of the backing, because of the ownership, because of the infrastructure behind him. There was very detailed reasoning why they didn't want him, and we really didn't. He was never interviewed. When I get such detailed reasons why we're not going to sign a player, I think, well, they don't need to do that. They could, if they can just easily say no interest at all if they just want to lie about it. But yeah, it was. So I don't think so. What is interesting is that Aston Villa are reportedly interested. Now that could also be a lie, right? That could also be a lie. So you just don't know with a lot of this stuff. But put two and two together, and if that does happen, then you've got the situation whereby they would perhaps have Jhon Duran would be surplus to requirements. Would that rekindle our interest in him? It's a tough call. It's really, really tough to know what's going to happen today. Just before we talk about the two final pieces of potential business, don't forget to get your match bingo cards in for this game week against Manchester City. Special offer on match bingo. Basically buy 3 cards and you get 5. Basically 5 for the price of 3. What's match bingo? Match bingo combines bingo with football. We've had so many winners for Hammers Chat. It's absolutely ridiculous. Basically, rather than on a bingo card, normally you get a bingo card, loads of numbers on it. Rather than having 15 numbers, you've got 15 incidents in a game. Basically, 5 to happen for West Ham, 5 to happen for Aston Villa, and then 5 generic things, that just happen during a game, like a free kick to be awarded or something like that. They're easy things. They weren't so much sometimes last season when it would say West Ham to have 3 substitutions. You think, oh, that's not going to happen. Loads and loads of winners on it. Really, really nice prizes. It's not going to empty your bank account, by the way. It's only £2 per card, and it's up to a maximum of 5. And even on the West Ham game, you literally can't spend more than £6. So, as always, gamble responsibly and all that stuff. But if you want a chance to have extra interest on the game, while the game's ticking over, it will tell you what you've got going on. We've had lots and lots of winners who are constantly posting in the comment section that they've won. Go and check it out. Match Bingo. The link is in the description below. Please do use that, though, if you wouldn't mind, because I know you've come from Hammers Chat. And hopefully we get to continue our sponsorship with them, which is obviously really good news for us because we do this stuff as a job. Right. Soler with a flair. Carlos Soler. He's waiting, isn't he? Patient boy Soler is. Waiting for us to get the necessary deals done so he can join West Ham. The Kurt Zuma one looks. I don't know how this happened. Kurt Zuma passed his medical. Apparently, I don't know. I wasn't there. I couldn't tell you this. I'm just telling you the reports. Kurt Zuma passed his medical. Can you imagine the medical, right? Like, you know what a normal medical is, right? They put the player through the CT scanner, they put them in the MRI scanner, they check all their knees, they put all these sort of sensors all over them to test that everything's working. They check the heart rate. They have them running on the running machine. Then they put it on the incline. They're sprinting up the running machine. They're skipping. They're jumping. They're running around. They're testing their resting heart rate. They're doing everything they can to make sure that this player is fighting fit before they sign them. I don't know. Mate, I don't know what they did with Zuma for the past medical check. They sat him down and said, "Here's some crayons." Like they do when you go to a restaurant with your kids. "Here's some crayons. Fill in the colouring book," or something like that. I don't honestly. Can you walk from there to there? Actually, maybe that might have been a bit too much to ask. Can you walk from A to B? Apparently passed his medical. There you go. So that's one out the door. And it does free up the squad space, which we discussed yesterday. We're hoping for something to happen with Danny Ings, but he's very comfortable. He's got his feet up. He's got his slippers on. It's funny enough. It's something that Mark Carlaw mentioned in the West Ham Ways video yesterday, which I hadn't really overly considered before, and it was that Ings is a journeyman. He is a journeyman striker. He is the guy that packs his bags and moves on to the next club. So it is weird for him to think, "Oh, I quite like this here. Actually, I'm staying put now." It's weird. It's like someone's nicked his caravan or something, and he's not going anywhere else anymore. So I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, really, because he is the nomadic type. He is the football journeyman, very much so. So yeah, I just can't see it happening. I really, really can't. There's always going to be interesting, Danny Ings, because he can score goals. Stop for West Ham. No, I think that's unfair. It's never suited him, any style of football that we played. Not under David Moyes, doesn't suit him. This stuff ain't going to suit him either. So, very, very long ball now. So, isolated striker with under David Moyes, long ball football, I think, be quite a lot of that. Under Lopetegui, he's just not going to suit that system. But as someone who plays the right way, he's going to score goals. Absolutely, no doubt about it. No doubt about it at all. He's had interest. In fact, what did the club say? We've had interest in every player. It's just most of them have said no. Here's the weird thing. The only player that said, "You know what? Okay, fair enough. My time's up here. I'm going to leave, and I accept that." Is Kurt Zouma. So, and we'd rather not. I think the thing is, we would rather not sell James Ward-Prowse. But if it turns out that's the only deal to be done, we may well do it. There we go. Right, I'll be back later on. There's no point me talking anymore. It's probably all changed by the time I upload this video. But if it does, I'll do another one later on this afternoon anyway.